past the hour. I want to respect everyone's time. We try to do our meetings during lunch hours, and we'll kind of move into this meeting. I'll start by apologizing that my camera is not working today, but I hope you all can hear me. And if I do cut out, someone please let me know. I want to just go through a few announcements before we get into today's speaker. The Chamber of Commerce held a couple of ribbon cuttings earlier this week. We did 2 ribbon cuttings on Monday. The first was for Hometown Urgent Care, which is owned by Patty Cold Iron, and it's out along the Harlem Bypass. And the second was for Kentucky Family Dentistry, which is owned by Dr. Caitlin Patel, and that's on Central Street here in downtown. And so we're really excited to have a few new businesses opening up in town. We have some other new businesses that we're planning to do ribbon cuttings for. But if you all know of any others that would like for us to do a ribbon cutting for them, please let us know about them or have them reach out to myself or James. We're excited to get back out in the community and do some in-person ribbon cuttings as these cases continue to decline. I have another announcement from Harlan Tourism. There's a couple of events going on later this month. The first is the Higher Ground performances for their newest production. I think it's called Shift Change. Those productions will take place on April 23rd, 24th, and 30th, and May 1st. These theatrical performances will be outdoors, and you can reserve your space online. There is more information on the Higher Ground Facebook page. I think this might be the 8th or 9th production of Higher Ground, so it's exciting that they have something new to share with the community, and that they found a socially distant way that they're able to do some live theater. The other event that Harlan Tourism asked to promote was the Bloody Harlan Ghost Tour that's taking place this Saturday. I think it's Saturday night at 7 p.m. and it will start at the Harlan County Courthouse. And you can reserve a space for the ghost tour on the Bloody Harlan Tours Facebook page. That's all the announcements I had sent to me. I see Eric Hubbard's on here with Backroads of Appalachia. Eric, do you all have any events coming up you'd like to let the chamber know about?
Oh, where to start? We have 57 total for this year, but the biggest one right now is the hill climb, which will be in Bell County, but we were looking at people staying in Harlan County for lodging as of now.
That's great to hear. And that hill climb, it's coming up, I think, is it the first weekend in May?
Correct, April 30th to May 2nd.
Good deal. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. I'm hoping I can make my way down there to see some of that. And we're always excited for the motor tourists that Backroads of Appalachia is able to bring into southeastern Kentucky. You all are doing a great job, and I think this last weekend with all the buzz we saw throughout the county is evidence of that. So great work, Eric.
Thank you. I'm here to help all the local businesses.
All right. Does anyone else have any other announcements they'd like to make for the benefit of the chamber? All right, hearing none, I'll move into introducing our guest speaker for this month. Today we are joined by Bobby Clark. Bobby has been a publisher, speaker, trainer, entrepreneur, and developer of social enterprises. He is co-founder of Midwest Clean Energy Enterprises and is founder and president of Sustainable Business Ventures, a 501c3 nonprofit. Sustainable Business Ventures' mission is to help difficult-to-employ individuals create their own jobs through self-employment. And they have trained low-income 16 to 24-year-old participants, low and moderate-income families, and even inmates in an Ohio prison. Bobby is vice president of Bluegrass Tomorrow's Bluegrass Forever Green Division. He is co-founder and board member of the Social Enterprise Alliance Kentucky chapter. And he is also co-founder of a new nonprofit called Safer America for All. Bobby will speak today about some of the programs Sustainable Business Ventures offers, and specifically on how some entrepreneurs can reinvigorate their business post-COVID. So welcome, Bobby. We're really glad to have you. I'll turn the floor over to you. Feel free to share anything on the screen you would need to.
Thank you so much, Colby. I appreciate the introduction, and that saved me from hitting a few highlights that I wanted to share. And one that I am also very proud of is I'm co-founder of the Kentucky Entrepreneur Hall of Fame that we started in 2010. And it's just been a great opportunity to meet these very successful entrepreneurs. These men and women have created jobs and opportunity. It's just been an honor to be part of that. So again, thank you today for this opportunity for me to share. I'm glad to see John Mark Hack on the Zoom today, because his ears would have been burning if he hadn't joined, because we've been working together on several projects. We are currently working with a USDA Rural Business Development Grant, and we picked 8 counties in Eastern Kentucky, basically Morgan County and the surrounding counties, and we picked the 8 Jackson Purchase counties to work on rolling out our entrepreneur network and things to help support entrepreneurs. I grew up in Paducah, and that's why I wanted to do that and compare and contrast these 2 regions. There's 4 river counties in far western Kentucky: Ballard, Carlisle, Hickman, and Fulton, that are as economically challenged as many in eastern Kentucky. So we're looking forward to sharing those experiences. And what we're trying to do is increase access, development, and tools and resources. There's a lot of organizations like Mountain Association, SCORE, and SCAD, and Kentucky Highlands out there, and we want to help them connect, businesses connect to that, as well as help those that want to start a business. We're focusing a little bit on entrepreneurial communities, how we work together with local folks like Colby and others in that community to begin to adopt an entrepreneurial mindset. And then we want to help develop relationships and use world-class technology, which is one of the key elements that I want to share with you today. As many of you know, many businesses, we found that through SBA reports that only 8% of rural businesses actually get any support. That's because a lot of times people don't even know SBA is there. And what I've shown on the screen here. What? No.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Bobby. I think we were getting some feedback.
Yeah, no worries. Again, it's always good to be flexible. And what we have done with our current grant has been able to show the actual breakdown between sole proprietors, micro enterprises, and medium and large size businesses. So I don't have the exact number of that breakdown for Harlan County, but I did find that one report showed there were about 795 businesses or establishments in Harlan County. So based on the other counties and communities, that means there's probably 500 sole proprietors. And we want to work with micro businesses, those of 5 or less employees. And everybody really works on how you can recruit industry to come in and create jobs. And the reality is, if we can help local businesses, even that sole proprietor, create one job, and we get 10 or 20 or 30 to do that, all of a sudden, those are some real jobs that add up. And so that's why we focus on micro enterprises. Let me see, I'm trying to change the slide here. Oh, there we go. And one of the things that we have done with our grant this year is we've developed a fundraising boot camp, or capital fundraising boot camp. And John Mark, as a CDFI, was participated in our boot camp, because when we talk to small businesses, everyone we talk to, they always need money, but many times they don't know how to get access to that money. So we conducted this boot camp over 30 days. We had 3 90-minute webinars, but we partner with a group called Aspire 360, and they have a program where they send out an email every other day to the people that participated in the program, and asking questions like, are you ready to sell? Just different little things. So you take 5 or 10 minutes a day to be able to look inside of your business and answer some questions. Most businesses are 99% of the time every day just trying to get the job done. And so very little time is really spent towards helping their business and how to grow their business. And so we created this tool to do that. And I'll tell you a little bit more about our virtual model of this going forward. We also have done in Eastern Kentucky and Western Kentucky a reading and discussion session of the book, Who Owns the Ice House? 8 Life Lessons of an Unlikely Entrepreneur. And this is about an African-American in the mid-50s in Mississippi that decided to quit picking cotton and open an ice house. So how can a Black man do that, especially in that era and that time in Mississippi? Well, he saw a need. He hired his 13-year-old nephew to come to work for him, and he's the one that learned these 8 lessons that are very, very valuable. So what we do is we have 5 weekly sessions, 90-minute sessions, and first session just kind of introduction to the whole kind of process. And then we ask the participants to read 2 chapters and come back in a week. Some of the lessons are like problems are actually opportunities in disguise. And getting that kind of message out helps one look at either starting a business or growing the business as they see needs related that they can address. And most importantly, what we do is we also in each of these sessions talk about the opportunity discovery canvas. It's a business model canvas, because the first thing you got to do to start a business or even relook at your business to evolve is, what is the problem? What is the problem you're trying to solve? Once you've kind of identified that, and we encourage participants to put it down on paper, but then talk to their neighbors and friends, people in the community, to bounce the idea off. Does this make sense? Do you have this problem? Who else out there has that problem? To get that feedback. Then you've got to define what your solution is and how you're going to do it and how you're different. You know, if you've got competitors in your marketplace, why is your solution better? And what is the value add that you bring to the table? And most importantly is, how do you connect with your customers? You know, the reality is you have the best things in sliced bread, but if you can't connect to somebody to buy it, you're not going to get anywhere. So in this process of these 5 weekly sessions, as we introduce them to that, and then what we do afterwards is continue to work with them, because we're trying to be kind of a conduit or facilitator to get the job done, and then make referrals to Mountain Association or SOAR or SCED or Kentucky Highlands, so that they can do that micro type of assistance and consulting to help them grow their business. So what we're very excited about is this grant has helped us roll out our entrepreneur network. We got a grant a few years ago to study the entrepreneur climate in Kentucky, and we got 840 responses to our survey over a year. And it's not surprising that the first question we ask is, how do you feel the state of Kentucky's done to help small businesses? Well, 38% of them said they've done a horrible job. I'm not getting any support from state government. The second question we asked is, would you be interested in joining a network of other entrepreneurs? And 68% said they were very interested. We added those that just some interest. The total went up to 83%. So we know there's a need and an inference, or a need to be able to connect people, not only to content, but to each other. You may be a business there in Harlan County or wanting to start a business in Harlan County. And wouldn't it be great to be able to go out to this free network and talk to somebody in Prestonsburg or Berea or wherever the case might be, so that they can get feedback directly from other entrepreneurs. One of the things the survey showed us, that many people don't trust government. So SBA and other resources are available. They just want to talk to them because they're government. And some don't like academics that much. And so we believe there's a great opportunity to create this network. And I kind of describe it as LinkedIn on steroids, because in addition to the same kind of LinkedIn capabilities that you have, is we have a lot of content that I'm getting ready to show you to highlight for what we do in our program. And it's free to join. The URL, and I'm going to send Colby a flyer that talks in detail about it, including how to join this free network to connect. But once you've connected to the network, you get a landing page that has posts. So people that are on the network can post ideas or ask questions of all the different groups. And so there's other things that we have available that I'm getting ready to hit the highlights of to show you, and we'll have time at the end for questions that you have related to this. One of the unique features that we have is it's called Path to Success. So what we do, and it's maybe a little hard to see on the screen, but if you're interested in a bank loan, how do you get started? You shouldn't just show up to the bank and say, hey, I need money. You need to see where you are and what types of loans you may qualify for, and determine if you're eligible. And if you don't have a business plan, most banks require a business plan. And so we have worked with SBA. They're a strong partner in what we're doing. And they have a 30-minute video that they created on how to write a business plan, step-by-step guides. And there are different things that like spreadsheets and stuff for forecasting and your numbers that are available. We broke that down into 3 10-minute segments and step-by-step guide of how to go through and get through to that bank loan. And we're developing other similar tools to help guide folks. And if you already know some of these things, you can go to the Path to Success on how to get a bank loan, and you're able to just pick and choose what you don't know, and it's right there at your fingertips. Let's see here. And as I mentioned about John Mark, is that we had this fundraising boot camp. I mentioned the 3 90-minute webinars. Well, 90 minutes is a long time. It's hard to keep somebody's attention, and you're running your business. So what we did is broke that first one down into multiple segments, 5 segments, and the one on Mountain Association and CDFIs was 13 minutes. So again, smaller bite-sized pieces to be able to distribute this content in a way that can engage folks when they're trying to learn how to either get a loan. Crowdsourcing is another way of funding your business, and but most people haven't even heard about crowdfunding. And so we want to guide them on those opportunities going forward. We have a lot of other content on there: agriculture, international trade, economic development, women and minority-owned businesses. Here's one on economic development, and there's webinars and other pieces that you can dial in and learn different types of things on your own schedule and your own time. Rural businesses. You can see here we got SOAR. There's a lot of stuff out there, but if you can't go to the conference, and I've been to several of the SOAR summits, I really like what I heard and saw. But what we're trying to do is work with partners and others. Most of this was already available on YouTube, and we just imported it into our platform. But we want to work with partners, and if you or anyone know of this great program or organization, we want to talk to them. We want to get them engaged. So not only that we can share this content, but share these organizations and the support that they provide in their communities. We are in the process now of applying for an SBV Appalachian Regional Commission Power Grant. We have selected Bell, Harlan, Montgomery, Johnson, Laurel, Perry, Morgan, and Rowan. And thank you, Colby, for providing us a letter of support, because what we want to do is come in and help do what we've already talked about, what we're doing with the USDA grant, but we also want to focus on capital and training and mentoring. We want to recruit mentors, whether they're in Harlan County or elsewhere. But if we can find a handful of mentors in your community, they can join the network and work directly with those that are joining the network. And we're also modeling this application after kind of the telemedicine approach. Is how do you distribute to rural communities content? And we've named what we're doing as tele-entrepreneurship, so that we can help connect people through Zoom or on our network in bite-sized pieces, the ability to get the help they need. Last, before I close here, is we really want to focus on youth. It's very important that we reach out to our high schools and even middle schools and our college students to introduce them, no matter what career path they're taking, is introduce them to entrepreneurship and the opportunities that they can have. And even if they don't start a business, the entrepreneurial mindset can be so empowering. and help people understand the job they're working in and how they can do better. In addition, as Colby said, I've trained low-income youth, I've trained inmates in a prison. So we want to work with those that are out of prison. If you have and also substance abuse recovery. If you have a substance abuse issue or you have a criminal record, you probably can't get a job even at McDonald's. And so what we want to do is explore and help them understand that they can look at ways to start a business. Colby also mentioned social enterprises. It's usually a for-profit entity, can be nonprofit, that takes a social problem, environmental problem in the community and comes up with a business to actually do the work and help serve the community. Tim Robinson is a great example with Appalachian or Addiction Recovery Center. He started his center, and after they grew to about 11 or 12 locations, started having a maintenance problem because they had so many vehicles and vans and trucks to move everything around. And so they bought an old auto repair company and they named it Second Chance Auto. And they were able to solve their problem. And that's the social enterprise approach. They solved their problem, and then they decided in December of 2018 to actually open it up to the public. And when the community and the churches and the community found out about this, and that by helping them and going to them instead of a Walmart, they're actually giving back. And they found they had clients that were mechanics, so they could actually get them a job back by working in their Second Chance Auto. So that's just an example of what we do. And I wanted to turn it over to you all and ask if you have any questions.
Thank you, Bobby. That was all great information. I had just a couple of questions, and I thought maybe if you would maybe share a little more information about the Entrepreneur Network and what are the steps, like if a Harlan County business wanted to join that, what do they need to do?
Well, basically, let me go back a slide or two, and then I'll take the stuff off the screen. Let me see here. Basically, they go to, and that's the flyer I'll be sending you. They
Okay.
go to this entrep.net/app/join SBV, and they're automatically in the system. It does not cost a thing to be a part of this. And that's how they get it. But the flyer I'll send you, Colby, to share is to just kind of lays out everything and different approaches and some of the value proposition that's there. But we would love to have anyone join us. And I saw in chat, I think it was Eric, that said that they want to work with us. I look forward to that because we want to empower you and other organizations. There's great stuff going on, but we want to provide this electronic connectivity, this network for others to be able to help us. We're just one cog in the wheel of what we're trying to do.
That's great. One other question I had was maybe could you share like a success story of an entrepreneur that you guys have worked with in Eastern Kentucky, or maybe someone who's used your network to their benefit?
Yes, and we don't have one yet in Eastern Kentucky, and we are looking forward to doing that. In fact, East Kentucky Power has a sustainability committee, not just for environmental sustainability, but how do these co-ops give back to the community? So we're collaborating with them, and we want to find and get people onto our network so that those success stories can be shared throughout the co-op system. But we, on the fundraising boot camp is a good example. We had a lady joining us, and even though we targeted our 16 counties, it was a broader outreach. And she is in Louisville, and she worked at General Electric, but she had this dream and has been working on a plan for the last couple of years of starting a dump truck company to work in construction site. She's a minority, and many of these federal and state contracts require a certain percentage of minority contractors to be engaged in the process. And so she joined the thing, and for $55, you can actually get a second level of support instead of the free business, the free seminar. And for $250, you can get experts come in and work with you and evaluate, let you pitch to them and the like. So she joined our process and did the $250 upgrade. and she is very excited. She quit her job at General Electric and is soon going to raise the funds she needs to get it. One example, you know, a dump truck company worked for construction sites and stuff. She was initially focused just on drivers and trucks, but there are other things like flag folks that do that, cleaning up the construction site, that will help her differentiate her business and be able to do that. So she's not a success story yet, but she's taken our work, and we're continue to work with her. We'll have 2 or 3 more hour-long meetings to review her stuff and coach her on the next steps and how to grow her business.
That's great. That's great. And I can speak really highly on the work that you all do at Sustainable Business Ventures. I help participate in one of your Who Owns the Ice House sessions. I think that was year before last. And I must say that's one of the most empowering books that I've ever read. It was, you know, a lot of times I've been in book clubs for other things, and then sometimes it can be really boring, but it was a really engaging book. It was nice to be able to talk about it with other people. And it was easy to relate to. I think that anyone from Eastern Kentucky could easily relate to the experiences that Mr. Talbert had growing up in the Delta and Mississippi. Even though we might have very different geographies and racial makeups, I think there's a lot of commonalities that we can draw from other entrepreneurs like him.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, the empowering part, that's the best word I like to do, that you have the power to choose. You have the power to choose it. You look at yourself. Even if you're an ex-offender or somebody in substance abuse, you can say, okay, that's one of my challenges in the past, but I can make something happen. I can do something differently. Talks about branding yourself and taking action and doing things, as well as being able to use that discovery canvas as a way to help those that are ready to move forward and try to start a business.
Absolutely. Well, does anyone else have a question for Bobby? Feel free to come off mute or type a question in the chat box. We'd be happy to read those out.
What's your email, Bobby?
It is S as in Sam, B as in boy, V as in Victor, Clark, sbbclark@gmail.com. And when I send Colby the flyer, it'll have all my contact information, including my cell phone, and looking forward to talking to you and others.
Okay, sounds good. Also, one quick question for your entrepreneurship. We're working with an organization now that if they stay clean for 5 years in one day, that we can get one of their felonies, if it's a 1 felony charge, done where they can get back out in the real world besides entrepreneurship. Is that something maybe you all be considered in working with us on?
Absolutely. I know there's an expungement process, and I've actually been on a criminal justice reform committee working on how we change the laws. One of the things is moneyless bail. What happens oftentimes is you get picked up, and if you don't have $500 or $1,000 to get out of jail, then what happens is your family suffers, you lose your job, and the like. And there's also some programs, I haven't checked lately, there's also some programs where if you hire an ex-offender, that you can get some credit.
$8,842.
Oh, good. Thank you for already knowing that. Excellent. But yeah, I'll be happy to discuss that and other ways that we can help with ex-offenders and substance abuse folks that are struggling and need help.
All right. Any other questions?
Well, thank you so much, Colby. Again, with my email address and cell phone on the flyer, please call anytime. As an entrepreneur, I work all the time, and happy to do and give feedback. And even if you're not in one of the counties that we're doing grants, we're statewide. And so we want to help not only Harlan County, but your neighboring counties and communities all over the state. Lexington and Louisville, Northern Kentucky, they have a lot of resources. They have larger chambers and stuff like that. And it can get lonely in many of these rural communities. And that's why we want to help.
Well, we certainly appreciate your time and taking a moment to share with us some of the work that you do, Bobby. I think that it's been great for you to have this opportunity to share your organization, because I'm sure a lot of folks might not have recognized it. And I'm certainly happy to refer people to you, but it's great when we could have you speak about the work that you do yourself. So
thank you so much. And I'm actually typing in my email address into chat and my phone number.
okay, great. Well, we certainly appreciate you being here today, Bobby, and you're welcome at any of our chamber meetings in the future if you'd like. I have one last announcement before we dismiss off of here. I just want to let everyone know to mark your calendars for next month's meeting. It will be Wednesday, May 12th, and it will actually, as of right now, we're planning for it to be our first in-person general meeting that we've had since COVID. I think as cases continue to decline, it's looking like we can safely go back to gathering. We will likely try to do it a hybrid style for those that maybe aren't comfortable meeting in person. So we'll still have a Zoom set up where you could kind of call in to participate that way, or at least watch it on our Facebook page. But that next meeting will be Wednesday, May the 12th. We're going to be doing it at Moonbow Tipple Coffee and Sweets. That's the new coffee shop in downtown Harlan. It will be at 12 o'clock, and our speaker for next month will be Kentucky State Auditor Mike Harmon. So we will be sending out emails, of course, leading up to next month's meeting like we've done these last few months. But we look forward to getting back to an in-person meeting. And we certainly, again, want to thank you, Bobby, for being here with us today. So with all that said, I think we will dismiss and get back to our work days. Thank you again.
Yeah.